The other portion of that in-home care, MichelleGerome will fill you in on, because there are more than one needs, more than one area of needs. Michelle, what are you doing? Can you see her?
Yeah.
She's slow but mighty.
Can you hear me when I talk?
If you keep your voice up.
If I keep my voice up, okay. So I'm a nurse, duh, and I have been part of the in-home task force, looking at how to support services and supporting the TLC program, and I sort of went off on a left wing, and something very true to my heart is visiting people in their homes. It's what I've spent almost my entire career doing, is home visits with patients. And you know, once upon a time, we used to have nurses that would go out to all ages and check on their care and bring the doctor in if they needed him. And I was sitting around, it was kind of like sitting around one day, and I said, I want to be that nurse. I want to be that nurse that can do that, because that's what we need. I want that nurse to come to me. And fast forward, also applied for United Healthcare grant and was funded. I thought it would be nice practice, but it got funded. And so all of a sudden, here's the nurse, there's funding coming, and I get to develop a program. It's been the best year of my life, I think. The good things, okay. The program is provided for frail, vulnerable adults in our community. They don't have to be seniors, and not all of them are, who are trying to stay home and whatever circumstances are happening to make this apple cart a little shaky, maybe I can get in there, make some referrals, make some suggestions. Sometimes I have to keep going back and back and back, but that's okay. Some people are very needy, and it takes a village. Or as John and I were saying this evening, maybe 3 villages. But so because the program has been originally grant funded and is now donation funded, the beauty of it is I can just go. I can just go into the home and say, what's going on? I don't have to say, show me your insurance. Can I check off these boxes and make you eligible for my program? Oops, sorry, and leave. I can just stay and talk. And that is, as a nurse who got into nursing because I wanted to provide care, it's like a dream come true. And the other good part of it is, it's working. I've been getting busier and busier. We're at this stage now, the United Healthcare grant, it finished at the end of July. In June, there was this big flurry of fundraising. Jay got me on second cup of coffee, and I was there for 2 hours, and people called in. I felt like Jerry Lewis. And the community, just in one day, coughed up $16,000. It was amazing. That was half a year budget for one nurse. So now, it's time to move on from the Michelle Show and have a real program. Expand the nursing, perhaps weave in an idea of a community health worker, particularly a Spanish-speaking one, that is able to help out with this. There's a lot of different directions to go with this, aside from what I'm already doing. And so have applied for another grant, haven't heard about it. Meanwhile, there's this little pocket of money from this wonderful community. I have a story to tell because I was with a friend over the weekend, and she told me about this story she heard on NPR about a woman in Florida, an elderly woman that someone had gone in to visit. And this woman offered food to this visitor and opened the fridge, and all that was in there was milk and cheese. And the visitor said, "Oh my, what's going on?" And the woman said, "Oh, you know, this is in Florida. my air conditioner needed fixing, so I had to pay for that. And my first thought was, that wouldn't happen in Chelan. You know, I immediately thought, well, let's see. I could call the Rotary to go out and fix the air conditioner, and there's the food bank, and there's senior meals at different centers. There's no reason for that to happen in this community. And it just filled me with such gratitude for this community that we live in. So the way people come to me, well, now I'm kind of getting known, so it's like I walk down the street and they say, oh, wait a minute. But, so I get referrals from doctors' offices, I get referrals from nurses, I get referrals from relatives. I walk into senior center here and Vita goes, Michelle, that one. And it's very rewarding, it's working. We're keeping people out of the emergency room a little bit. I wish there were more options today for the next step, for those that really can't stay home. I wish I had that today to say, yes, now you can go here. It's really hard. It's really hard for people trying to stay home because not all situations at home are fixable. Real quickly, because at 65, it looks like I'm one of the younger people here. Things to think about, okay? And it won't keep the nurse so busy if you think about it now. Okay, in your house, go in your bathroom. Can you get off the toilet? Imagine your knees really hurt. Is there something to grab onto to help you get up? If not, fix it. Is there a way to get in and out of your bathtub without sliding your hand along the wall? Fix it now. In your wills, have you made each other power of attorney and not chosen somebody in case? We had a case in this community where husband and wife made each other power of attorney. No children named, they had kids, no children named, nothing. They both got dementia. They both need to go to care. They need to sell the house. They're in limbo. Nobody can do anything. At that point, they have to be made ward of the state, and it just, what a mess. So this is a really good time for us all to think about it. I learn more every day about, oh my gosh, I need to think about that. So in terms of medical stuff that goes on, I do a fair amount of going in and saying, how do you keep track of your medicines? And I could write books about that. But sometimes things are just great, and other times it's like, okay, having them in this cupboard and piles over here might not be the best solution. And so we work with it. Lake Chelan Pharmacy, by the way, has a service, and I'm getting my head cut off here, where they will fill Medisets for people. If any of you have relatives at home that you're worried about, Lake Chelan Pharmacy will fill their Mediset for them. And they just pick them up weekly, or if it's real stable, they'll give them a month worth of boxes. So if there are questions afterwards, I also have rack cards and cards at the back. If there are any questions, just hit me up. Okay, thanks.